I'm Renee Charles with the Heartland Partnership, and we continue our series now of introducing you to the chairman of the board of directors for all of the different organizations involved with the Heartland Partnership. And Michael Bryant, you are the chairman of the board of directors for the Heartland Foundation CEO Roundtable. And most people in this community recognize your name as with Methodist Hospital. Tell me a little bit about you and your career and your Peoria connection.
Well, actually, I'm just on June 30th next week. I'll be finishing 10 years in Peoria as the president and CEO of Methodist, and it's been a wonderful 10 years. I like to joke that my wife has aged in those 10 years while I've matured. So, of course, this is not, nobody's going to see this, right? But I think it's been a wonderful 10 years, but it does, I think, lend into the opportunity. I've had the privilege, and I'm in a special position as the president of Methodist to not only impact the healthcare in this community, but as the third largest employer, I've long believed that it's our obligation and privilege to then try to do other things that would help other organizations and other people. And by that collaboration and getting involved, that's really how you make a difference ultimately.
So tell me a little bit about the CEO Roundtable. I mean, you mentioned that it is made up of civic leaders and people that are leaders in our community, but what does it do?
Well, again, I think the CEO Roundtable, the Heartland Foundation, has a special role in this community. First and foremost, its function and its purpose, it exists to put its political, financial, and other support behind key community projects that help shape the future of the greater Peoria area. And again, a great example was, most recently, was the museum referendum. I do believe that without the CEO Roundtable taking a leadership but collaborative role with all the other key stakeholders, I think I can say that we made a difference in that project, and one that I think most of us believe is the Peoria Civic Center moment of our generation. That can shape the future of this community. Key project. And we're just about finished with the fundraising and other pieces. And now the next issue is, what is the next most important issue that this leadership can get behind. So I think it's important because the reality is, in order to have key projects like that, you've got to have the community leaders and the key community organizations.
The key, you got it right,
and that's not meant to at all be something that's seen as elite at all. But that's what it takes to move key projects forward. And you need us all at the table collaborating and talking and how we can help each other. And what the public doesn't see is not only what they do see, like the museum referendum and how we're working together, but they don't see the 1,000 other things that behind the scenes, the leaders of these organizations are coordinating and helping each other. You know, maybe it's somebody you know who might want a job, maybe it's a key project, maybe it's a smaller thing, maybe it's a little help with building a community park or a fundraiser. They don't see all those things, but this forum through the Heartland Partnership allows all of that to happen, I think, on a much more streamlined and smoother basis.
Is this something to have this collaboration of all of these, again, key leaders in the community, people who obviously have a stake in the economic development of our community? Is this something that's unique to our community? You don't really hear about this all over the place. I'm sure it's not a brand new idea.
No, but in Central Illinois, I think it's relatively unique or uncommon. But this was modeled after I think it's called the Civic Committee of Chicago. It's the top 300 corporations in Chicago, and they've been doing this for a long time. Indianapolis has one, St. Louis has one. For example,
for a city of our size,
it's unique, and but it's modeled on already what has existed in other communities. And again, I think in the 8 years it's been here, it's had quite an impact in what it's done and what it can do. But again, as long as we stay focused and on what's important for the community, and I think as long as the community knows there's a group like ours out there that's really focusing on the 1, 2, or 3 big things that are out there. And how that benefits the community, and we continue to collaborate. Again, I think that message and that importance will survive for many years to come.
What do you see as a vision for, say, the coming year? What are a couple of the those key projects or those key things that you think that organizations should focus on?
Well, one of them, again, the community may not truly appreciate, but the CEO Roundtable has been a big supporter of the Peoria Next, and has helped fund and found and help move that. But for Peoria Next to be successful in the years ahead, as well as the medical community, which I'm a part of, and Caterpillar, education. You know, we're building products and services that need brain power. I mean, we need a truly educated workforce. And so education in our region is probably now front and center the most important thing that we can do. We're not going to, these industries, these startups, without an educated workforce. So most recently we've put our support behind the charter school concept in District 150. But that's only a part. We're going to try to get more involved in the Tri-County area with the schools, whether they're private, parochial, or public, because we need to raise the bar on academic excellence. We need to show that this region competes with the best communities. And again, as it relates to Caterpillar in particular, Caterpillar, you know, competes in a global marketplace.
We have to be able to
compete, and that's educationally. We're putting together a lot of the right infrastructure things. The museum block is a key piece. Build-a-Block is a key component of quality of life. The warehouse district, hopefully the new museum, the Marriott block,
right.
Hopefully that gets built. If you look at certainly our medical community, I'm very proud of. You throw in the cancer center, the medical, we got really Bradley, the Ag Lab. So all those at the zoo, the new library system. I mean, you know, all of this is coming together in the next couple of years. But without a supporting strong educational infrastructure, you know, in the next 10 to 15 years, you could see that begin to whittle away at all these wonderful things that have been done. So the good news is, I think the business community, the CEO Roundtable, the partnership, the major stakeholders, I think, have agreed that we all need to start collaborating on how we can raise the bar in education.
And that collaboration, I think, is the key for any community's true success, is to have all of those pieces working together, and we have that through the Heartland Partnership.
Yeah, without question. I mean, I think you're right. The Heartland Partnership is the one mechanism that allows all this, and again, in a supportive, non-judgmental, open, independent way. That way none of our individual interests are being served. It's our joint interest in only benefiting what we believe. You know, again, you made a point earlier about it's not just the economic development. I mean, it is the whole breadth and the quality of life. We want people to look at Peoria as a great first step to their career. Peoria Next is one way, you know, that we're making that happen. So
make them want to stay here, make them want to be here.
You know, we all acknowledge it's a great place to grow up. It's a great place to raise a family. We have tremendous amenities. But there is a gap between when kids right now, without a four-year public institution, kids are leaving this area to get their education, and then that puts at risk that whether they come back or when they come back. So we're really trying to tighten that up such that we offer kids who go away to here to Illinois State or to Southern or to University of Illinois or wherever, that they look and go, you know, going back to Peoria would be a good start for me. I know the people there. I have confidence I can build a career there. They've got the amenities. We've got most of what they need. And I think when we strengthen the educational system here throughout the area, and we can demonstrate that the education that their children are going to get are going to be equal to what they can get in any other communities, I think we're going to have the complete package. It's going to be hard to turn down Peoria.
All right. Well, Michael Bryant, the chairman of the board of directors for the Heartland Foundation, CEO Roundtable, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you very much. Pleasure.